Our world has always been filled with mysterious and terrifying tales of people who have come in contact with the unknown. Our story this time is not so different. In August 2021, an old man who goes by the name of Frazier lived alone in his home and started to experience something weird and mysterious that he could not give meaning to. And as time went on, the occurrences became so increasingly bizarre and inexplicable that he found himself questioning his own sanity as he struggled to come to terms with the dreadful forces that haunt him. As things continue to unfold, Frazier decided to record and upload all of his experiences on his TikTok account. And judging by the name alone, you can only imagine the horrors it contains. This recording, uploaded by Frazier to his TikTok account, showed how it all started.
I've been living here 10 years and hearing a lot of noises, but figured it was just the house settling, as most houses do. But things got a lot more active over the past year, and this video here is the first one that I documented accidentally. Some activity. Me and a friend of mine were on the porch. He was leaving after visiting. I live here alone, but we hear what sounds like a young woman in the house saying hello and then sorry, is what I think I hear her say. The first time she says hello, you can barely hear it because we're talking over it, but you see our expression. Just watch.
Yeah, it's just the door. What's that? Hello?
Just weird.
As you see in the video, Frazier explains an occurrence his doorbell camera captured when his friend visited him. Just as his friend was about to leave, they heard the gentle but chilling whisper of a woman saying hello and sorry.
Barely hear it because we're talking over it, but you see our expression. Just watch.
Yeah, it's just the door. What's that? Hello?
One of them called out to the voice, but there was no response. This strange event left him wondering what it was that made such a noise. Little did he know that this was just the beginning. In this video, Frazier explains an occurrence that took place late in July. He tells us how several objects had been moving on their own, and how he had no idea what could be causing it. On this occasion, something not visible appears to be lurking inside Frazier's kitchen.
Hey guys, here's the July 30th activity part 3 I was promising. You can see nothing's changed since the plate moved. The cabinet's opened. Oh, like it's looking for something. I don't know. I don't get it. This is crazy, guys. You know, I used to be a huge skeptic, and if you're like me, you know, these videos are entertaining, but I always thought they were fake. And until it happens to you, you know, this has never happened to me in my life, and so I never believed. And now this crap's happening to me, and I'm getting nervous now because I don't know what to think anymore.
Frazier expresses his surprise at this bizarre occurrence, and mentions how he had always been skeptical and thought of the paranormal as something unreal. All of that changed after this event. On this occasion, Frazier recounts a frightening incident when a kitchen cabinet mysteriously opened on its own as he was passing by. This scared the creeps out of him, so much so that it got his heart beating fast.
It hasn't opened since, and I can jump up and down, and it won't open. See, I'm banging on the floor, and it still won't open anymore. I don't know, that's weird. And the refrigerator's been making a god-awful noise. It used to make another god-awful noise, like the fan bearings were screeching, and it was just such a loud whistle. Sometimes I'd just unplug it. But sometimes I could unplug it and plug it back in, and it would stop doing it. But now it's making this... Whoa! Okay, see, I didn't even move. I wasn't even moving.
On this occasion, Frazier tells how he'd been hearing weird noises up in the attic all morning.
I've been hearing knocking noises up in the attic all morning. I don't know what the hell it is, but... That was it there. Shit. I'm gonna go around this fucking way so I can see.
You can hear the knocks he speaks of, just as he rises from his seat. This encounter leaves him so confused and terrified that he decides to investigate the source of the noise. As he edges closer to the attic door, a sense of dread envelops him. As Frazier reaches the hallway, the lights set up in the attic suddenly come on. Petrified, Frazier stumbles back, his heart racing at the thought of something unknown in his attic. Summoning the courage, Frazier reaches for the string and pulls it slowly.
Is there anybody up there?
Trembling with fear, he cautiously climbs up the ladder. With a shaky voice, he calls out into the dimly lit room, but gets no response. Or does he?
Is there anyone up here? This has been touched. Is there anyone up here? This has been touched. Hey guys, in my last video I told you guys that there had been a lot of activity in the back of the house, but I hadn't been able to catch anything. The attic doors banged a couple times and little stuff like that, noises in my office. Well, yesterday I was in my office and doing some research, and I kept hearing a noise and I heard the attic door bang again, so I set up my cell phone camera and another camera at two different angles and just let it run and hope that I caught something. So keep an eye on the wall in the hallway, and right at the end you'll hear the attic door bang.
This time, Frazier explains how a lot of strange and eerie activities have been happening in his home, but he hasn't been able to get any of them on tape. So he set up cameras at each side of his table, hoping to catch something. As Frazier sat at his computer doing some research, he heard the terrifying bang of the attic door once again. Frightened by the sound, he goes towards the door and calls out to his cat, Tiger, asking if he was the one that made that noise. But did you see it? In the dimly lit hallway, a ghastly shadow emerges, and just before the thumping is heard, we can clearly see how the shadow disappears from the scene. Whatever is haunting Mr. Frazier seems to be slowly getting more and more closer to him, and there doesn't seem to be a stop to it anytime soon.
Morning, everyone. That was my morning wake-up call. Whatever's living in my attic wants attention in the mornings and is being very aggressive about it. I wasn't sure what the noise was when it woke me out of a dead sleep. I figured it was probably the attic because it kind of sounded like that, or a broomstick falling, but when I looked at the string on the attic, it was just dead, laying there, wasn't moving or anything, so I thought, well, maybe it was a broom or something in the living room. And so I looked in the kitchen and in the living room, and of course I didn't see anything out of place or anything, so I decided just to go back to bed. But I couldn't sleep. I ended up getting up, and the heart was thumping too much. And I checked the Ring camera because I saw that I had a notice on it, and that's what I saw.
One night, Frazier was suddenly awakened by the deafening sound of the attic door. This Ring footage captures what seems to be an inexplicable force slamming the door shut, as if beckoning Frazier to investigate. Moments later, the unsuspecting old man is seen walking out of his room to check out what had made that noise. He then turned on the lights, but nothing seemed out of place. He searched every corner of the house, his eyes scanning for any sign of an intruder or ghostly presence, but found nothing. A question you might be asking is, what is in Frazier's attic and why is it causing all of this? We don't know it, but the entity haunting him keeps giving hints on what it looks like. One night, Frazier's doorbell camera captures something weird and mysterious just outside of his porch. Pay close attention, as it might be difficult to see.
I'm having my friend come sage next week, guys, because I got this Ring notification tonight. It's been quiet in the house, but apparently I had a visitor, and it says come outside. You're gonna hear a loud backfire, and then listen close. Walks off the porch, and she can see light go back behind it and in through it as it goes across the level. What else to do, guys? Stick with me.
In this video, Frazier explains how he had an unintended guest one night. The footage, caught by a Ring doorbell camera, shows a bunch of cars racing by, their screeching tires and revving engines echoing in a deafening chorus. Suddenly, what seems to be a ghostly figure appears right outside Frazier's house and begins to walk up the steps of the porch. Frazier claims the sinister figure whispers, "Come outside." But covered by a loud backfire and with hardly any quality from the camera's mic, we can't really hear anything of the such. But still, whatever the Ring camera captured that night is real and easily visible. A moment later, you can clearly see the strange figure walk down the porch and disappear into the darkness. Its intent and destination remain a mystery. Very early one morning, Frazier woke up to a strange sound that terrified him.
I swear, I hear somebody walking in my hallway. Like pacing. You hear that? I think whatever this spirit is a morning person because there's been a lot of activity. A lot of activity in the morning. Let's see whether that camera in the hallway picked up anything. I don't know if this phone's going to pick up that because I'm sitting in the living room. I have to listen back and see, but I swear the floor was creaking like somebody walking in the hallway, and then a few seconds later it was like they were walking away, like they were pacing up and then back again. Another weird morning, guys. As you can see from my eyes, I'm not getting a whole lot of sleep in the past year.
In this video, Frazier explained how he heard something or someone pacing around his hallway. And as he explains this, we can vividly hear the sound of footsteps walking up and down the hallway. He looks tired and miserable, as you can see in his eyes that he's not been getting enough sleep. Just then, the sound of pacing footsteps is heard again.
And there it is again. This is freaking weird.
Frazier expresses how tired he was about these strange encounters, his thoughts wandering as he could not explain why any of them were happening to him. Frazier had recently connected with a friend named Ebb. They had known each other since high school, and after 40 long years, they started dating. On this day, after getting a mysterious box from the attic that was pointed out to him by one of his followers on TikTok, Frazier decides to do live coverage of him alongside Ebb opening it.
Well, guys, we got the box and we found all this stuff in it. I'm going to put it all back in the box and take a photo to the granddaughter and see if maybe she recognizes some of the people in the photos, because this could have belonged to Miss Potter.
Inside the box, they found a collection of old photographs, lockets, and trinkets that belonged to a certain Mrs. Potter, who Frazier believed once lived in the very same house. After inspecting all of the contents in the box, Frazier decides to take the items to Mrs. Potter's granddaughter. Maybe returning the objects to their rightful owner would put an end to the strange occurrences. Or so he thought. Things have only gone downhill since the first experience Frazier had with this entity, and we've seen how it progressively evolved, and each time it got more and more closer to him, either with whispers or by making appearances. Now, however, it seems to have gone so far that Frazier couldn't keep up anymore. In this case, Frazier tells of an encounter he had with a mysterious entity he now calls Hallwalker. Tears stream down his face as he recalls the fear and sorrow that filled him upon sensing its malevolent presence.
I'm sorry. Whew, I thought this was going to be easier. I showed him the video. Because I'd heard my hall walker again this morning, so I decided to grab my phone and go into the hallway and see if I could catch it. And I could hear it at the end of the hall, so I had the camera facing me, and I turned around so I could see over my shoulder, so you could hear how loud the walking is. Because from the living room, I don't know if everybody could hear it very well in that other video, but it was loud to me.
Earlier that day, he'd heard eerie footsteps pacing back and forth and decided to capture them on his phone. But when he stepped outside, an ominous sound echoed through the hallway, and he felt the presence of a demonic force lurking just behind him.
It started walking towards me. Feel my hand on my back. I'm sorry. It terrified me. I froze.
This encounter terrified him so much that he froze in fear.
I don't know if my wife is in there, but his people seem stuck. They were all saying, "Help me." I think this whole walker is like some sort of holding these people there. I just, I can't take it anymore, so, I'm moving out, guys. I'm staying at my son's house for the weekend. I'll come back Monday, and, they're gonna help me pack up, put everything in storage, and, I may even delete this page because I'm afraid that because I made these videos, it's going to be connected to me still when I leave.
Frazier also explains how this hallwalker has left him with no choice but to move out of the house. He also talked of deleting his TikTok page, as he was convinced the unnerving incidents were somehow connected to it.
I want to thank everybody for your support. Your suggestions were great, but I don't want to deal with it, so I'm just gonna quit and get out. So, because even if it gets cleansed, I don't want to come back. I don't want to be there. I'm sorry for rambling. And this is definitely going to be part 2 of a final update. Thank you guys again for following me and giving me support. It was very much appreciated. Take care.
He thanked everyone for their comments and support, but figured it was best he stops for a while. These terrifying occurrences did not stop, and on this occasion, Ebb records the sound of the floor creaking while Frazier was at work. At the same time, a strange sound that seems like someone was whispering something weird is heard alongside the creaking sound. Since opening the box, strange things kept happening to the duo. These experiences got so bad and frightening, it was as if something evil was angry that they touched the box. Frazier mentions how things continue to haunt him. In this video, Ebb describes waking up to a searing pain in her wrist, as if it were being burned.
All right, things were quiet for the first day after opening the box until the first night, and as you can hear the refrigerator in the background going off, it's been going off almost constantly since then. It stops for about 5 minutes, and then we'll go again for hours.
It's been screaming for hours now. And this
It's been going on since like the night we opened the box.
since we opened the box. And this morning, my wrist was burning. It woke me up. It was burning bad enough to wake me up. And I saw this, and I immediately woke him up.
When she showed me this, I thought, well, maybe she hit herself on the nightstand or something. But then I got to looking at it. I don't know if it looks like 3 separate scratches here. But this, to me, looks almost like a thumb bruise. Like a little kid grabbed her arm, like the thumb was here and 3 fingers there. I mean, you see how big my fingers are to those 3 little scratches. Look at that. Oh no.
Well, it's still burning, so I don't know what it is.
My phone is acting weirder than hell right now. What the hell is going on? Oh my god.
But when you look closer, you can make out how those markings look like a hand that held her arm tightly. The question is, what could have left such a mark on Ebb's wrist? All of a sudden, as if to answer his unspoken question, Frazier's phone starts acting up. One night, as Frazier and Ebb were heading to bed, Ebb noticed the attic door was slightly open. She asked Frazier about it, but he denied ever going up into the attic.
Okay, me and Ebb were walking to bed, and I was looking down, and I guess she was looking up and noticed that the attic was open. And she said, "Have you been up in the attic today?" And I said, "No." And when I pulled on the string, something moved inside. So I grabbed my phone. Something hits me in the head. What the hell?
It's those boxes that were back over here behind us. And they're lined up there. were back here.
Curious, Frazier decides to go up to investigate. He pulled on the attic door, and to his surprise, he noticed that some things were out of place. When Frazier got to the attic, he saw that everything had been thrown into chaos. Shocked, he scans the area for anything out of the ordinary, but finds nothing. Did you see it? Just behind the stacks of boxes, a sinister face appears from nowhere to what seems to be Ebb. But Ebb wasn't in the attic at the time. Frazier doesn't see it, but concludes that they leave the house for the night. On the following video, the glass overflowed with what happened, giving no other option to Frazier and his wife but to leave the house once and for all.
Hey, babe, can you make me something to drink? I only got a little bit left. What flavor do you want? Terrible. Hey. Yeah. Hey. No.
In this video, Ebb walked into the kitchen to get something to drink. She reached for a bottle of water. A chair just in front of the camera began to move all on its own, as if possessed by some unseen force. Ebb doesn't notice at first. When she finally sees the moving chair, a wave of fear sweeps through her, and she immediately calls out to Frazier, only for the cabinet door to suddenly burst open. Petrified, Ebb panicked and ran out of the kitchen.
No.
Did you see it? Just as Frazier ran into the kitchen, a knife is seen flying across the room and slicing Frazier on his head.
Hey everyone, I wanted to give everybody a quick update. Ebb and I are doing okay, somewhat. The house is not sold yet. Had a couple bids, but they were just phenomenally bad, so I don't know what we're going to do because I can't keep affording rent and a mortgage. So we may end up having to move back into this house, and I'm not looking forward to it at all. Nor is she. I'm still here at the doctor's office. You can see they're doing some more tests. I've been having some neurological problems since I left the house. I've done a battery of tests and can't figure out why. You can see my hand's starting to shake now. I get like Parkinson's or something and get these tremors. But anyway, I want to let everybody know that we're doing okay. And I'll try to update you again soon. If we have to move back in, I'll certainly let everybody know. But I hope everyone's having a great week. And I want to thank you guys for following me and the newcomers. Just stay tuned, and it may take a while before I update, but I want to thank you guys for sticking with me. Thanks.
In this update, Frazier explains how they have tried selling the house. He mentions how they might have to move back into the house as they haven't found a buyer. He then thanks everyone for their support and promises to keep us updated. One can only imagine the horrors awaiting Frazier in that house.